Today, America's capital markets are the strongest in the world. But how did that happen? It turns out that the capital markets didn't just appear. They are a delicate product of centuries of trial and error, of innovation to solve urgent problems, and of hotly contested debates. If we want to keep our capital markets strong, it's worth understanding how they came to be. Arguably, we had a big head start. The American colonies inherited a basic set of capitalist ideas that had developed hundreds of years earlier. After the American Revolution, the greatest threat to our independence was financial. What you could call the first major innovation in the capital markets was Alexander Hamilton's idea to consolidate the colonies' debts under the credit of the entire United States of America and borrow new money through the First Bank of the United States via Treasury notes to pay it back. The next 100 years were rocky. The markets clearly needed a stronger foundation to support economic growth. After the Panic of 1907, the U.S. government created the Federal Reserve, which established a new level of stability and confidence in the financial system. By the 1920s, the U.S. economy was booming, but in for its biggest test yet. The Great Depression was a crash landing and then some. Thousands of banks failed as the Federal Reserve lacked the resources to address the scale of the national panic. The capital markets were devastated and access to money dried up, leaving millions of Americans destitute. The innovative New Deal program slowly restored prosperity to Americans. The stage was set for another period of dramatic and sustained economic growth. Technology and financial innovation revolutionized the markets, driving prosperity and growth. But another storm was brewing. In 2008, a credit crisis and ensuing financial panic gripped the markets, spreading like wildfire through a complex, globally interconnected world. Had it not been for the swift actions in America to curb the panic and restore confidence in markets and financial institutions, America would have been in for a repeat of the Great Depression or worse. Instead, by spring 2009, markets stabilized and the economy began to recover, entering what no one could have suspected at the time would be the longest economic expansion on record, unmatched by other countries whose responses to the crisis were slower. In 2010, the landmark Dodd-Frank Act was passed in the U.S., adding a major chapter to the substantial rulebook that governs financial services, and adding important regulations to ensure the safety and soundness of the financial industry and markets. We're only just beginning to understand how we fundamentally changed the markets. But as a new chapter unfolds and an unmapped journey stretches before us, one objective remains clear: to drive American growth and prosperity. Together, we must ensure the U.S. capital markets remain the deepest, most liquid, and the best.